Hey up everybody, my name's Joshua Morrison, director of Johnny Moz's Lessons in Confidence. Today I want to talk a little bit about childhood wonder. Right? When you were a kid, did everything not feel a little bit larger? Right? This is my childhood park. This is the park right near my childhood home. Right? And I used to come here quite often with my parents and we'd play in this field. Right? And I remember at the time thinking this field was quite large. Right? But it went on forever as a big expanse. But you know what? I can kind of run to the other side quite quickly, right? I'm already so far away from it, right? I'm already basically halfway there. Ridiculous, isn't it? So, as time goes on, as you increase in age and you get older and older and older, right? As you get older and older and older, no worries. As you get older and older, I mean, that's childhood wonder right there. Because, you know, he's interested in this camera. This camera probably looks amazing to him. It's huge, right? But you know what? It's just a crappy little camera. And as time goes on, he's throwing me. He's kind of throwing me off.
What's the camera?
It's a cinema camera. It's Canon C100 Mark 1. I don't know why it's like, it means nothing to him, right? Same way it would have meant nothing to me when I was a kid. But I loved coming to this park when I was a child. It was fantastic, right? You know, I mean, we used to come here and we'd play football in this field and it felt like I was in the middle of Wembley Stadium or something. I'd watch a film. Well, I watched Ice Age and I thought Ice Age was a grand, sweeping epic. It's not, it's like 70 minutes long, right? And as you grow older, it feels like that childhood wonder sort of dissipates. And I'd like to know what that childhood wonder is. I can't really define it in any specific way other than everything felt bigger, more colourful, grander, more important, right? I remember like getting VHS tapes of The Simpsons, right? Like you get 3 episodes of The Simpsons on a VHS tape. And you know, I don't get to pick what episodes they are, they're just whatever comes up at the charity shop. And I remember I found one that had Treehouse of Horror 2 on it, right? And I watched that to death. So it wasn't Treehouse of Horror 2, it was Treehouse of Horror 4, right? The one with Bart on the bus, right? I watched that like 300 times, right? I loved it. And I was so obsessed with that bit of him on the bus, right? That I watched it again and again and again and again and again. And I loved it. I never watch anything 300 times now, right? I mean, I say The World's End is one of my favourite movies. I've watched it 7 times in 10 years, right? So I just find it interesting how, as you grow older, you kind of lose that thing, that something that you can't quite describe. It's almost like back then, everything was like a liminal space, but like a happy liminal space, like a limitless space. I don't know. I would like to go back to having that childhood wonder, but you know what? It's either have the childhood wonder or have the freedom to do what you want to do in the way that you want to do it. And you know, now I'm an adult, I can do things in the way that I want to do. I can come out here when I choose to. I don't have to ask my mum, "Oh, mum, can you take me to the park? Can you take me to the park? Can you take me to the park?" And she'll say, no, I don't want to. Because, you know, I'm working off her schedule, you know? I don't have to go to school Monday through Friday, but I do have to go to work. So that one's not really solved itself, and my work hours are longer than my school hours, you know? So, I mean, I get paid, I suppose, but loads of it goes on bills and stuff, so I don't really have more disposable income than I did as a kid when I was living off pocket money, you know? I used to get £2 pocket money, and £1.30 of which would go towards a packet of crisps and a chocolate bar, right? And then the final 70 pence would be to leave me for the week. So that was almost my version of paying bills as a kid, right? Get the packet of crisps, get the chocolate bar, and 70p for other money, which would be like, say if I wanted to go to Subway with some mates, right? I'd have to save for like 3 weeks, right? So that I could get one Subway sandwich that cost £3, right? So I remember when I was about 4, being in nursery, right? And there were just like, I remember it feeling like we were so far away from civilization, right? And when I grew up, I went back to where my parents lived, and I went past that nursery again, and I realised it wasn't in the middle of nowhere like I thought it was. It wasn't just in the middle of like this endless abyss. It was actually just like down a road that had some trees on one side, and then on the next road over was the town centre. I remember we used to go to Matalan, right? And I used to think that when we drove there, and Matalan is kind of like a big clothes shop sort of thing, and I used to think that it was miles and miles and miles away. Turned out it was walking distance from where we lived, right? We used to go to this box car park shopping centre type thing. And we used to go there for Sports Direct so we'd get shoes. And I remember over one side of the car park, it looked like a desert, right? And I went back. It was half a construction site with fucking that construction sand. It wasn't a desert. I was convinced it was like the Sahara. So, you know, things change. Like the perception of things, they change very, very vividly. And I just find that interesting, how we go from this little sprog that has such wonder in its eyes to this sort of larger thing that walks around a little bit miserable. And it's those miserable things that are the ones that are in charge. I mean, at the end of the day, children are incompetent. I mean, look at that one that came over and put his hands all over the fucking camera, right? So there's a load of, like, children are kind of idiots, right? But they've got some wonder to them. They've got some majesticness to them. Like, why is this one not scared of me, right? They're coming on here. They should be sort of freaked out by me, but they're all over the place, right? What's that? Just ran straight past me. If I was an adult, right, I wouldn't have done that. I would have been like, I'm gonna steer clear of him. He looks like a mentalist, right? But they don't. So it's just interesting, I find. I mean, there's something like, sometimes I wish I was a kid again, you know? But then, say if I was a kid again, I would only want to be an adult, because when I was a kid, I just wanted to grow up, right? There's that Toys R Us advert, like, I don't want to grow up, I just want to be a kid. I'm not going to advertise it. But, you know, when I was a kid, I just wanted to grow up like, as fast as possible. And now I'm grown up, I'd like to demature a little bit, you know? I think the ultimate age is probably about 18, because you can drink legally, you can go out to mad parties, there's no real responsibilities yet, but you have got the freedom that comes with adulthood. It's not quite as good now.
Okay, Nathan.
So that's what being a kid was like, running around all over the place going like that. And you know, that was fun, but I can't do that anymore because it hurts my voice. So yeah, let me know what you think about this. What do you think about being a kid? When you were a kid, what do you remember feeling like a huge thing that turns out it wasn't, turns out it was just kind of nothing? Let me know your thoughts on that, because I'd really like to know, because it's obviously not a unique experience to me. I think everyone's got that, where they looked at something and thought it was massive, and then they came back as an adult and it turned out it was tiny. So yeah, let me know, especially if you're American, because when I was a kid, I thought America was like the biggest fucking thing in the universe. So, yeah, it's interesting. It's hard to, that bit's easy. Stepping on that was all right. Whoa. I feel like if I was a kid, this would be a lot harder. Yeah.